Côte d'Ivoire is a regional electricity exporter through expanded generation and great modernization under this same man, ladies and gentlemen. You see, 3 major power plants have been built in Ivory Coast since Ouattara became president. 3 of them. Before he took office, the first phase of Azito power plant in the Ivory Coast had already been constructed. But what I like about this guy is his interest in continuity. He didn't come and sort of start a new one. He rather expanded it by building the second phase and the third phase of that project. The first phase produced 150 megawatts of electricity. He added the second phase, which produces 150 megawatts in 2009. And in 2021, he added the third phase, producing 200 megawatts. Ladies and gentlemen, so from the original 150 megawatts, now the expanded plant produces a total of 700 megawatts fueled by natural gas that supplies 30 to 40% of Ivorian electricity today. This is one of the largest and most modern power plants in all of the sub-Saharan African countries, ladies and gentlemen. As a result, thousands of rural communities in Ivory Coast gain access to electricity. But that's just for one power plant. The 2 other power plants are the Cypriel IV, built in 2016, which adds 111 megawatts, and the Sobre hydroelectric dam constructed in 2017 that produces 275 megawatts of electricity. I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like his involvement with France and his stance against the Sahel governments. But domestically, I think he's not doing bad at all. He's way better than many of his contemporaries in West Africa. Now, did you know he has made primary education compulsory and free? In 2011, he announced this project, and in 2015, it was passed into law that parents are legally required to send children to school from age 6 to 16. Since then, tuition fees are abolished and thousands of new classrooms built and teachers hired to handle the increased enrollment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Ouattara is not a bad president, as you would think. Trust me, I'm not saying all these to convince any voter to vote for him, but to evaluate him on his performance. Like I said, there are so many things I don't like about him, especially what he's saying about the Sahel region.